What if buried beneath ancient symbols and forgotten scriptures lies a vehicle of light, a living, spinning force that can bend time, unlock higher consciousness, and transport your soul across dimensions? Why did the Egyptians guard this secret so fiercely? How did mystics harness a power so profound it could alter reality itself? And why has this knowledge been hidden from us for millennia? What exactly is the Merkaba? Is it just a symbol, or is it a cosmic machine encoded in your very DNA? Can it really shield you from negative energies or take you on interdimensional journeys? Could awakening this ancient chariot unlock powers within you that science can't explain? Are you ready to step beyond the limits of ordinary perception and glimpse the infinite? What if the Merkaba isn't just ancient myth, but the missing key to your transformation? Stay with me, because once you understand the Merkaba's true nature, you'll never see reality the same way again. Imagine a vehicle, not of metal or wheels, but of light and consciousness, that can carry your very soul beyond the boundaries of this physical world. A cosmic chariot, ancient and enigmatic, whispered about in the shadowed corners of sacred texts and hidden scrolls. This is the Merkaba, a symbol, a force, a gateway to realms unseen. But what if the Merkaba is far more than a mere symbol? What if it is the key to unlocking an ancient, forgotten technology of the soul? A divine geometry that transcends time and space, allowing the seeker to ascend into higher dimensions, to meld with the cosmic dance of creation itself? Today, we journey deep into the heart of this mystic phenomenon. We will unravel the full story of the Merkaba, a story woven through millennia, from the cryptic wisdom of Egyptian mystics to the esoteric traditions of the Kabbalah, from the secrets of sacred geometry to the awakening of the human spirit. But beware, this is no simple tale of symbols and myths. This is an unveiling of sacred knowledge long hidden, obscured by layers of misinterpretation and forgotten through the ages. Here, you will glimpse the ancient mysteries that challenge our understanding of reality and awaken the dormant power within. In this video, we will explore the origins of the Merkaba, its profound philosophical significance, and its role as a bridge between the physical and the divine. We will dissect its complex geometry, uncover hidden layers of meaning, and reveal practical ways you can begin to work with this cosmic energy to transform your consciousness. Prepare to step beyond the veil. The journey into the Merkaba awaits, where light and spirit converge, and the mysteries of the universe begin to unfold. To truly understand the Merkaba, we must travel back, not just through history, but through layers of consciousness, deep into the ancient heart of spiritual knowledge. The word Merkaba, sometimes spelled Merkava, derives from ancient Hebrew. It roughly translates to chariot, but its meaning extends far beyond any earthly vehicle. In the Hebrew Bible, it first appears in the prophetic visions of Ezekiel, who describes a fiery, wheeled chariot of divine beings, flashing with light and guided by celestial creatures. This vision, known as the Merkava vision, has puzzled scholars and mystics for centuries. Was Ezekiel witnessing a divine craft? A symbolic representation of the soul's ascent? Or was it something else entirely, a coded message about the architecture of reality itself? Ezekiel's vision became the cornerstone of Merkava mysticism, a powerful and mysterious strain of Jewish esotericism that emerged between the 1st and 10th century CE. Practitioners of this path were not ordinary worshippers, they were initiates, spiritual explorers who meditated, fasted, and invoked divine names to ascend through the 7 heavenly palaces, Haikalot, to reach the throne of God. The Merkaba, in this context, was not just a vehicle. It was a multidimensional experience, a living system of energy that allowed the soul to navigate the higher realms. But the story doesn't start, or end, with the Hebrews. Long before Ezekiel, the ancient Egyptians spoke of the Ka and Ba, the two aspects of the soul. The Ka was the vital essence, and the Ba was the spiritual personality. When unified, they formed the Ak, a radiant, transcendent being. Some esoteric scholars suggest that Merkaba is a composite of Mer, light, Ka, spirit, and Ba, body, an ancient trinity that hints at the integration of these energies into a single, ascended form. Further east, the concept echoes in the yogic traditions of India and Tibet. The light body or rainbow body described in Vajrayana Buddhism closely parallels the Merkaba's function, the transformation of the physical into light, the transcendence of mortality, and the awakening of divine consciousness within. Even in Taoist alchemy, there are descriptions of immortal vehicles, crafted through inner energy work. It is here that we glimpse the universality of the Merkaba. Though names differ, cultures separated by continents and centuries seem to have tapped into the same archetypal blueprint, a sacred method of ascending beyond limitation, a divine map encoded within the human soul. Yet, despite its recurring presence across civilizations, the knowledge of the Merkaba was not passed down freely. Much of it was concealed, veiled in cryptic texts and symbolic language. Why? Because power, especially spiritual power, demands readiness. In the hands of the unprepared, the Merkaba is not a gift, it is a mirror, reflecting truths that can shatter illusions. This is why ancient schools of mystery, from the Essenes to the Hermetic orders, reserved these teachings for initiates, those who had proven their discipline, humility, and inner alignment. Over time, as empires fell and dogmas rose, much of this wisdom faded. It was dismissed as myth, buried beneath the sands of skepticism, or twisted into mere metaphor. But fragments remain, hidden in plain sight, in the geometry of the flower of life, the mystic diagrams of Kabbalah, and the encoded glyphs of ancient temples. Now, in our age of awakening, the Merkaba calls again, not as a relic of the past, but as a technology of the spirit waiting to be reactivated. To embark on the Merkaba's journey, we must first understand its form, not just as a symbol, but as a living, breathing geometry of light and consciousness. Visualize two interlocking tetrahedrons, triangular pyramids, spinning in opposite directions, creating a three-dimensional Star of David suspended in space. This is the classic shape of the Merkaba. But it is far more than a beautiful geometric figure. It is a dynamic energy field, a vortex, that encapsulates the very essence of being and the structure of reality. Each tetrahedron represents a fundamental polarity, masculine and feminine, spirit and matter, upward and downward. Their continuous rotation creates a balanced, harmonic field, stabilizing and lifting the soul beyond the confines of linear time and space. This movement is not mechanical but alive, an expression of sacred dance between dualities that gives rise to unity. Imagine the Merkaba as a cosmic spinner, weaving through dimensions, connecting the physical body with higher realms of existence. The word vehicle takes on a new meaning here. This is not transportation in the conventional sense, but a vessel of consciousness, enabling the traveler to shift frequencies and access expanded states of awareness. But why this shape? Why these intersecting pyramids? The tetrahedron is the simplest three-dimensional shape, yet it holds the power of creation. In sacred geometry, it symbolizes fire, the transformative energy that ignites change and illumination. When two tetrahedrons merge into the Merkaba, they create a star tetrahedron, symbolizing the perfect balance of opposites and the gateway between heaven and earth. Let's take a metaphor to grasp this better. Think of the Merkaba as an ancient lighthouse, spinning its radiant beams across the dark ocean of existence. This lighthouse guides the soul, illuminating the path from the shadowy depths of materiality to the luminous heights of spiritual awakening. Its light pulses in a precise, sacred rhythm, a vibration that harmonizes body, mind, and spirit. But the Merkaba is not static. Like a living star, it breathes and expands, responsive to our intention and inner alignment. When activated, this field becomes a protective shield, an armor of light that wards off lower vibrations and toxic energies, while simultaneously drawing in cosmic energies to nourish and heal. At its core, the Merkaba is a tool of transformation. It reminds us that the human being is not merely flesh and bone, but a composite of light, spirit, and energy, an infinite spark within a finite shell. Here lies a mystery. Activating the Merkaba is not about physical strength or intellectual knowledge alone. It is an alchemy of the heart and the mind, a sacred process that requires presence, purity, and trust. Many teachings describe Merkaba activation as a meditative practice, visualizing these spinning tetrahedrons, breathing life into their form, and aligning oneself with cosmic frequencies. But it goes deeper. It is the awakening of a dormant vehicle within us, waiting to transport consciousness beyond the known realms. Yet, for all its beauty and power, the Merkaba is paradoxical. It is both a cosmic machine and a spiritual mystery, both a map and the territory. We can trace its shape, but the experience of its true essence is ineffable, slipping beyond the limits of words and concepts. So what happens when the Merkaba awakens? The initiate begins to experience subtle shifts, a heightened perception of energy, a deepening connection with the universe, and an expanded sense of self that transcends the physical form. Boundaries dissolve, and time appears to bend. The soul rides the chariot of light, venturing into dimensions where healing, insight, and transformation unfold effortlessly. But the journey is not without its shadows. Awakening the Merkaba can stir latent fears, challenge long-held beliefs, and demand a shedding of old identities. It is a path of initiation, where one must confront the self with courage and humility. And this leads us to the next question. How did ancient masters learn to harness this power? How did they understand the Merkaba as both a sacred geometry and a living vehicle of consciousness? To grasp the true depth of the Merkaba, we must now move beyond its shape and structure, into its function as a multidimensional interface, a key that unlocks access to universal consciousness. Ancient mystics didn't just meditate on the Merkaba as a form, they became it. This was the secret guarded within esoteric schools. The Merkaba is not merely something you activate, it is something you embody. When the mind, heart, and spirit reach coherence, the Merkaba activates organically, revealing its higher dimensions as a spinning, light-filled architecture interwoven with your auric field. It is, in essence, the crystalline blueprint of your divine self. Some traditions speak of this as the light body, while others refer to it as the resurrection body, the solar body, or the immortal vehicle. The Egyptians hinted at it through their depictions of the Tsahu, the divine form that emerged once the Ka and Ba merged in death and rebirth. In the Christian tradition, this echoes in the transfiguration of Christ, whose body radiated light before ascending, a symbolic or literal manifestation of the Merkaba principle. But what's most astonishing is this: the Merkaba is programmable. This is not programming in the digital sense, but in the vibrational one. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and intentions directly influence the frequency and rotation of your Merkaba field. Fear, doubt, and chaos disrupt it. Clarity, compassion, and love harmonize it. Thus, the Merkaba becomes a sacred mirror, reflecting your inner alignment with the cosmos. Mystics claim that through deep meditative practice, one could use the Merkaba to journey across timelines, receive divine messages, and even access the Akashic records, the cosmic library of all soul experiences. The chariot of Ezekiel, then, may not have been a craft in the traditional sense, but a metaphor for interdimensional travel, guided not by machinery, but by consciousness refined through sacred practice. Yet, in modern times, the Merkaba has been misunderstood, often reduced to a buzzword in New Age circles, divorced from its original depth and rigor. Some imagine it as simply a spinning field of light you turn on with a quick meditation. But ancient traditions taught that the Merkaba's true activation required profound inner work, emotional purification, ego transcendence, and deep reverence for divine law. Let's address a common misconception, that the Merkaba is solely a vehicle for leaving this world. In truth, its highest purpose is integration, the merging of higher wisdom into the earthly realm. The Merkaba doesn't just take you up, it brings you through, connecting divine insights with grounded action. This is the deeper paradox. The Merkaba lifts us beyond separation, yet simultaneously roots us into the interconnected web of all existence. It is not escapism, it is embodiment. The light you touch in higher realms is meant to be carried into your relationships, your work, your breath. And what of those who see the Merkaba as a technology? Some believe ancient civilizations such as Atlantis or Lemuria possessed working knowledge of energetic vehicles modeled after the Merkaba's design, structures that could teleport, levitate, or even shift through dimensions using harmonics and sacred geometry. Whether myth or truth, these accounts all point to a single idea: the Merkaba is not fantasy, but a forgotten science of the soul. We also find echoes of this in the geometric layouts of pyramids, temples, and megalithic sites across the world, all aligned with celestial bodies and resonating with the same sacred proportions found in the Merkaba structure. Could it be that ancient architects were embedding this knowledge in stone, leaving behind vibrational keys for those who knew how to look? Perhaps the most profound insight is this: the Merkaba is not unique to a chosen few. It lies dormant in each of us, a divine inheritance encoded in our very being. The question is not whether you have a Merkaba, but whether you are ready to remember it. And that leads us to a vital turning point. How do we awaken it consciously? How do we begin to experience the Merkaba not as a theory, but as a force that transforms our daily life? The Merkaba, for all its celestial wonder and sacred geometry, is not meant to remain trapped in the pages of ancient scrolls or floating in distant realms of theory. It is a living force, designed to be experienced, embodied, and integrated into everyday life. So how do we activate it? How do we bring this divine vehicle online? The first and most essential principle is coherence. The Merkaba does not respond to fragmented thoughts or erratic emotions. It requires alignment between the mind, the heart, and the spirit. Just as a tuning fork must resonate with the right frequency, your internal state must harmonize with higher vibrations to awaken the Merkaba field. This is where the breath comes in. The breath of light practice is a foundational step, a simple yet powerful way to begin cultivating Merkaba awareness. Sit or lie down comfortably, spine straight, hands open. Close your eyes. Visualize two tetrahedrons, one pointing up, the other down, interlocked at your heart center. With every inhale, imagine white gold light entering your crown and flowing into these spinning shapes. On the exhale, feel the tetrahedrons begin to rotate, one clockwise, the other counterclockwise, creating a shimmering sphere of light around your body. With each breath, expand this field, feeling it grow more luminous and stable. Do this for 10 to 15 minutes, daily if possible. Over time, your body will begin to remember the pattern, and the Merkaba will become an extension of your awareness, effortless, subtle, and deeply alive. But breath alone is not enough. The emotional body must be purified. Old traumas, resentment, shame, these create distortions in your energy field, keeping the Merkaba from activating fully. Emotional healing becomes an act of sacred architecture, clearing debris so the temple of light can rise. Journaling, shadow work, forgiveness practices, and vibrational healing modalities like sound baths or energy work are powerful companions to Merkaba activation. They soften the inner resistance that blocks the field from spinning freely. Another key technique is sacred intention. Before sleep or meditation, speak directly to your higher self or divine intelligence. Say, "I am ready to remember my light body. I am ready to activate the Merkaba within me. Guide me in truth, integrity, and love." Your intention is a command to the quantum field. When spoken with purity, it begins to reprogram your energetic blueprint, awakening the dormant codes within your soul. Now, let's address a subtle but common pitfall: spiritual impatience. Many seekers attempt to force activation, chasing experiences, seeking instant transformation. But the Merkaba responds not to urgency, but to presence. It awakens slowly, like a flower turning toward the sun. You don't command it with ego, you invite it with humility. Remember, this is not a tool to escape your life, but to deepen your connection with it. The more grounded you are, the more powerfully the Merkaba flows. Walk in nature. Eat consciously. Speak truth. Embody compassion. These are not distractions from the path, they are the path. Lastly, pay attention to your dreams, synchronicities, and inner guidance. Once you begin working with the Merkaba, you may experience shifts in perception, moments of timelessness, heightened intuition, or even spontaneous insight into your soul's journey. This is the chariot in motion, gently lifting you into remembrance. In the end, Merkaba activation is less about technique and more about resonance. When your inner world begins to reflect the sacred symmetry of the divine, the Merkaba doesn't need to be summoned, it responds, effortlessly, because you have become its living temple. We have journeyed through the hidden corridors of history, danced amidst the spinning tetrahedrons of sacred geometry, and unearthed the profound mysteries of the Merkaba, our ancient chariot of light. From the cryptic visions of Ezekiel's fiery wheels to the hidden blueprints etched in pyramids and temples, the Merkaba emerges as both a map and the territory, a living field of transformation that bridges heaven and earth. Yet, the truest revelation is this: the Merkaba is not a relic of the past, but a present reality waiting within you. It is the crystallized blueprint of your divine self, encoded in the very cells of your being. When mind, heart, and spirit find coherence, through breath, intention, and purity of emotion, the chariot awakens, spinning gently to lift you beyond limitation and root you into the vast tapestry of existence. As you step forward, remember that this journey is not about escaping your life, but about infusing every moment with higher resonance. Each breath is an invitation, each intention a spark, each act of compassion a thread weaving you more deeply into the cosmic web. The Merkaba does not demand force, it responds to presence. It flourishes in the soil of humility, trust, and love. So, ask yourself, are you ready to remember your light body? To feel the sacred geometry of the universe pulse within your own heartbeat? The Merkaba calls you, not as a distant ideal, but as a living, breathing reality. Its wheels turn not in some far-off realm, but in the luminous space of your own consciousness. Embrace this ancient secret. Nurture your inner coherence. Embody the light and watch as the chariot rises, effortlessly carrying you into newfound wisdom, healing, and unity. The keys have been handed down through millennia. Now, the choice is yours. If this teaching resonated, share your experiences below, subscribe for deeper explorations, and join our community of seekers on the path of awakening. The chariot awaits, will you climb aboard?